and they beat Alliance very quickly in that game. Alliance, who went on to win the tournament, but who were actually on the ropes, and were the ones giving them the chance to stay in the tournament because they lost too quickly in that game. So
Radiant team
it's kind of a flashback for me, seeing ROX.KIS going for this kind of stuff. Bristleback wasn't even a hero at that point, I think. Now he is, of course, available and being picked quite frequently. And you're right, he can keep spamming Squill Prey, which is definitely also
prefer that name.
Well, spray and pray. It's good, isn't it?
It is. Still some decent heroes in the pool. I doubt that we're going to see an Ursa at this point. Although I kind of like him against Bristleback. Even with that Bristleback passive, it's still a pretty good hero against any strength hero for that matter. But Titan's going to be the last pick, so a little bit team fight mechanic. So not full push. ROX.KIS, they have the nice mechanics there with, as you were talking about. Is the last, would not have guessed that one, that's for damn sure. But Era is playing the Centaur, so it's going to be a sniper mid with Hani, Trixie in the off lane, and this lane is very survivable, and I'm scared for ROX.KIS just because there's a Centaur in the lane, which, I mean,
and when you,
me and him have a kind of a history together.
When you're looking at Fnatic's lineup, the remaining heroes, Sniper was just the best choice against the OD. It's mainly a lane counter pick, but at the same time, ROX.KIS also have terrible gap closers. They don't have anything to get in on the Sniper. There's no one with massive mobility who can catch him out of position, like a Storm Spirit or a Blink Initiator. Maybe if you get a Blink on the line or on the Tide, it's possible, but those are going to be the support duo, so it's not going to happen too early. I think this is a very nice Sniper game, and Hani loves playing this hero mid. We've seen it. I don't know if we've seen it in this tournament. I've seen him practicing it, at least. I played with him in a game when he played, actually, in a pub game, and he went for Scotty first, which is very characteristic for Hani. We're gonna see if that's his choice in this game, but I like the choice.
Pugna's gonna be mid. This isn't something we see as often anymore. It's something more back in the day, I feel like. He's typically needs to be babysat, I'll say, because he has pretty much no escape mechanism. The Decrepify is what keeps him alive, but of course it slows him at the same time, so he might have some trouble against Hani, I feel like. And it does depend on the build that Hani goes with, as far as skills are concerned. But the tri lane here at bottom is going to consist of Goblik on the Lion, Solo playing the OD, and Yol on the Tidehunter, of course mid, as we talked about, BZZ, Pugna mid, and Sidoi on the offlane, Bristleback with a ton of tangos.
He's probably going to need them because he'll be playing against a dual lane for Fnatic, which is going to be Crystal Maiden and Centaur, so they can definitely pressure him quite a lot. In the mid lane, I think NoTail is going to go offlane with the Abaddon and play together with the Weaver of Trixie, very classic dual lane as well, and that's going to give Hani the sniper mid that we already mentioned. And looking over at ROX.KIS, they have an OD tri-lane because they don't want to put OD mid against the sniper, who can actually even win the lane against OD, one of the very few heroes that can do that. They want to safe farm him, they want the OD to get big, and the Pugna will get more levels in mid, so it's overall a pretty good choice from ROX. But can their lane deal with a Weaver Abaddon? They don't really have anything that can do it, especially not with a dual lane without Tide there.
Typically, Abaddon is kind of more of a defensive hero, especially in the beginning stage of the game, but with a Weaver, can essentially guarantee that that Aphotic Shield is going to do some damage. His Fly is going to take a gush to the face, but he's sandwiched in between Pugna and Yol. Question is, who's going to be getting the last hit? The Nether Blast is enough to take the hit, as Hani isn't actually going to be able to finish off Pugna, so first blood going the way of ROX.KIS. For them, and we didn't really talk. I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive to some degree with Decrepify overall, but of course we failed to mention the minus armor on this team, which is between Bristleback, the Gush from Tidehunter, I suppose, being kind of synergetic. not the most typical synergy you see, but it's something to mention at the very least.
Yeah. That was just a very nice start for ROX. The positioning from Tide was what gave that all away, basically, or that didn't give it away, it gave them the kill, I should say, as Fly thought he had a chance at getting in the mid lane and start putting some pressure on the Pugna with Frostbite and a DD, but Tide was watching him the whole time from above the front, and they just turn around and fight, knowing that Sniper's garbage on level 1. He cannot do anything. Getting an easy first blood bottom lane. NoTail being pressured a bit. Trixie gets some space for it, though.
Taking a lot of damage from Era, but this is a decent matchup for him because he can kite a bit with that goo. And with Crystal Maiden going to be pretty much in the jungle for at least the early stages. I think that Bristle's going to get levels just fine. But once he hits level 6, that is Centaur, then he's going to fall into a little bit of trouble. Of course, with that global ganking. And this is something we have touched on in the past. Stampede isn't really... It's kind of underrated as a skill, and I think teams are finally starting to realize how amazing it could actually be. And perhaps... I mean, what do you think the reason for that is? Like, nothing has really changed other than cooldown, which is nice, I guess, for level 1 and level 2 for the ulti. Being able to use it whenever you want, not having any repercussions as far as waiting a very long time is concerned. Do you think that's the main reason that we're seeing Centaur nowadays, or is it because my love for him is finally spreading throughout the Dota 2 world?
It's a good question. I don't think we can find the answer in the fact that Blink Dagger doesn't have a mana cost anymore, because Centaur's mana costs already were really low. Double Edge has no mana cost. The Stomp does have a mana cost, but you still had the mana to use your entire kit on level 6 with a Blink Dagger even.
See? 4 seconds on Shakuchi, he's gonna get impaled. Don't think they have enough damage here. Oh, actually they have plenty of sentries though. And enough damage to boot.
Even need them.
Indeed.
Very nice.
So,
Hex
even
is so good.
Yeah, well, the minus armor as well. Cinderin, the minus armor from Gush. Even the right clicks from Lion deal damage, so that's always good to see.
Amazing.
Lion's a right clicker at the end of the day.
But it's a good question why Centaur got more popular.
Dire's
I think you're
top
right.
tower
A
is
big
under
part of the
attack.
answer is that people got better at playing with it.
That's what I was trying to get at. I agree with that.
It took a lot of time, because this hero, I feel like, when I saw the Stampede, I was like, this ability is insane, and this hero is
It
gonna
did
be
stun
amazing.
initially,
I know.
of course.
When it was changed, I was like, this is still pretty
Dire's
damn good,
middle tower
and I
is
can
under
easily
attack.
see him getting picked up for that. But it didn't really happen too much until recently, and now... It just took some time for teams to figure out how to use it, I guess. Interesting question.
He might have been on the cusp of being picked before. I mean, we saw a couple games, I guess. The cooldown shouldn't be underrated, though. The level 1 and level 2 ulti are considerably lower, as Fly's taking a lot of damage from Quill Spray. He's going to take a stomp to the face, though. Era positioning himself for a double edge. And actually, he is going to die if he's not careful. But there's the Frostbite to keep him alive. And actually, Tidehunter has TP'd in to get the kill. Sadoy just getting these Quill Spray procs, just stacking them up. Problem, and that's major damage. And of course, one thing to think about, that doesn't proc the, although he didn't get return, that doesn't proc return, I don't believe so.
No, that only procs on attacks. That's true.
Yeah.
I want to mention as well the Bristleback, the ability. We've mentioned this beforehand in the tournament, but I want to point it out again, because you're generally used to, when you have pure damage skills, that they will deal full damage to the target, but Bristleback is damage reduction, and it reduces all types of damage from all angles, apart from HP removal. So he takes less damage from even Double Edge, which is actually magical now, so never mind my stupid point. This used to be pure, it's not anymore.
Yeah, well, it used to be pure damage to the target, and then magical to Centaur, which is why
now it's magical to both,
yeah.
So never mind.
It's okay.
We're still stuck in the past.
I'm probably the only person that knew that.
We've had some time lapses today, I feel.
Pun? Pun?
I was about to say it, but I felt like that was too lame, but you're on that level.
I was actually looking at him at the time, so it was perfect, Cinder. We work so well together, oh my god! But pretty much, look at the mana capacity on Did you just say that? Okay, fine, let's do it. 50 mana capacity, but of course, the Aphotic Shield helping out quite a bit as far as tanking is concerned. Sadoy, you know, if they find Fly, he's a dead wench walking, if I do say so myself. They're not going to. They're gonna just help get levels on Sadoy, who's now level 5 compared to the Centaur.
Shell just gonna go walk up and steal that. Oh, he failed it. Fly actually got the last hit, but they share the experience at the very least.
Going 1-1-3 on the roaming Tidehunter. What do you think about that? That's not something we see every day. That's more like a solo Tidehunter.
Mostly you will be leveling up the Anchor Smash when you're playing one-on-one, especially against a melee hero. This game, I would have probably also maxed out the Gush, because the thing is, the increased magic damage and of course the armor reduction is really great with Bristleback. You already mentioned that, and triple ranged heroes. Having more minus armor I think is great. I'm not sure if this is just a habit. I don't feel like against Fnatic's lineup that he can expect to get multiple Anchor Smashes off, and the only thing that really justifies leveling that up over the other is either lane controlling or the fact that the cooldown reduces, which it doesn't on Gush, so more.
Here comes Sadoy, aggressing on Fly. He has 0 in Goo, by the way.
Good skill.
Just mentioning that, that's really odd as well. Really weird skill builds all around. Hani, of course, trying to use the Centaur Stampede to his full effect. What do you think about no goo? Relying completely on a Tidehunter with level 1 Gush. Silence is golden. Synderen is shocked.
Sorry, I got distracted for
That's
a second.
okay. It's just you agree with me so heavily you didn't know what to say, because you usually disagree with me, so it's all good. Bottom lane.
Oh, assassinate.
Spur assassinate. That's gonna be enough to get the kill. Trixie, question is he gonna re-aggress? His Lion is getting decently low, but here's the TP from BZZ. Doesn't have too much to offer though. Has the ward if he wants to put it down, but Hani taking the level 1 Gush, not doing a whole lot of damage.
Dire's
Trixie though,
tower
is he gonna be able to
attack.
finish off Lion? Lion has the Impale. Gucci up again, and this will be the death of Lion one way or another. Actually, Yol, as well as BZZ, better be pretty careful here. And continue to aggress. There's a sniper ultimate, and here comes Era. All he needs is one hit.
Dire's
Doesn't even need that. As ROX.KIS is just getting picked apart. There's the double edge to the back of Tidehunter. Triple kill for Trixie. Cleaning up. Sadoy even has to be careful. They have so much survivability thanks to No-Tail and the tankiness that is Centaur. But alas, they will probably have to get out here. Of course, no Goose still on Sadoy. He's going to take Assassinate directly in the face again, so no Bristleback rocking there. As Trixie's going to pick up another kill. Oh, he actually pops timelapse a little bit too early. The Shikuchi, along with the Centaur ult, is not going to be enough to get the kill as of yet. Era actually almost going down, but he actually finally go down to Bristle. What? He went down. He went down to Bristleback.
By the tower, he took a shot on his way out.
Didn't see that. Okay, okay.
So that is going to be a 3-for-1, or what is that even when
Dire's
you do the math? I
middle
mean,
tower
at the end,
is
Fnatic
under
have 3
attack.
deaths and ROX.KIS has 1, but they lost a lot on the way. I feel like Fnatic overall got more out of that.
Fnatic, yeah, I agree.
But when you look at the graphs, it still seems pretty damn even, to be honest. It didn't really change much, that fight. If anything, ROX.KIS actually won that.
Surprising,
yeah.
I thought Fnatic was cleaning up left and right. They got like a team wipe almost, guy. I can't keep track of anything anymore. But Midas is on solo, along with Sniper. No, not Sniper. Who picked up Weaver? Yeah, Weaver. Picking up the Midas for Fnatic, so. A little extra farm out of that. Has the DD rune to boot. Solo, though. Astro Prison's going to keep him alive. That could have been trouble. As we hear an Assassinate. Not what in Gazano was on? Probably Lion. Or Lion.
Yep.
Alright, you never answer my question. What do you think about no goo? Explain this to me. I really don't get it.
No,
Level of goo is amazing.
Common choice when you're playing the offlane Bristle because the other abilities just it gives so much value with every point in Bristleback. But I still think at level 8, at least I would have probably got a point in goo to have that, but he's just emphasizing his tank ability above everything else. He knows he can just keep running in the fight, and looking at Fnatic, they don't have that many slows. It's kind of only the Crystal Maiden, so apart from that, he can move kind of freely, and then maybe he doesn't need to slow his targets himself either.
Trixie's trying to do as much damage as possible, as there is the Finger of Death out of nowhere. In all likelihood, surprising the bejesus out of Trixie, as he will take a fall. No-Tail Invis in the bottom lane. That of course has nothing in Curse of Avernus, which isn't too big of a surprise considering he's playing support. Although I know you like the 1-3-1 build on him, but not appeasing the Synderen gods, Centaur. He's actually, okay, he's gonna get Astral Prison. No-Tail has no way to slow this. This is completely up to Centaur to initiate. Got a Blink Dagger, which I think he's finally...
He doesn't have the mana for Hoof Stomp.
It's true. He has 5 mana, or 5 charges on Wand though, bro. Yeah. But I remember we were casting Era playing the Centaur, and he did not go for Blink Dagger right away, which was a huge mistake in that particular game. I think he's saving for it now.
Dire's middle tower
I think it's the
is
best
under
choice
attack.
as well. Considering how little initiation they have in their lineup, they need Era to do it. He gets a Photic Shield and goes in. There's no one else who can do it. Crystal Maiden is really fragile, and yeah, has to be their way of getting in. He doesn't have to worry about not having significant damage on his team. There's a Weaver and
Dire's
a Sniper
middle
for the
tower
mid-late
has
game
been
to carry
denied.
through, no problem. But they definitely need something to set up the fights for him first, and Era will be the right guy for the job.
I don't know why. I have no idea why I found that funny, but that was hilarious. Solo.
I kind of did too, actually.
Radiant's top tower
I feel
is
like
under
I'm just
attack.
maniacally laughing because I'm just like falling asleep from no sleep in the past 2 days. But hey, Dota, there's me, alive and well and casting. Maybe not very well, but casting nonetheless. Era. I cannot wait for this Blink Dagger. That is when the aggression starts for Fnatic, and that creates space for Sniper to sit back and just farm, or even in teamfights just sit back and right-click away. Force Staff's picked up on Pugna. He's gonna use it to get away from Era. Maybe you even saw him, but either way, he got away from him regardless. Top lane. Trixie, again, it's a 1v1 battle. He finally has one in Goo. I guess you don't want to go stats at this point, so finally picks up a level in Goo, so that's good to see.
Actually still get a point in Bristleback. He's gonna do that in level 10, I guess, set out. Yeah. There we go. It's been a really good game so far for Sedoya. He was playing solo offlane and has 51 CS at 12 minutes and 213. That's kind of worrying for Fnatic. Even though Trixie with the Midas is getting good farm and Hani is doing a good job in mid as well. Teamfight from ROX.KIS about this point in time is going to be really good. And they have the top 3 farmers, they have a Pugna, and they have an OD for the pushing power. The only thing that really surprises me here is that ROX.KIS are not getting a mech. If they had a mech on the Pugna right now, I think they could just be brute forcing towers. Fnatic does not have the damage yet in their lineup to take these kind of fights. But without the mech, maybe they do.
See 1v1 battle with Bristleback, uses time lapse.
Right, dare I say,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Man, the range on that is just so much longer than I remember. That's what she said, but level 1. Okay, it's a good spell. Bottom lane.
Level 1. Okay.
Level 1 initiation Era. Oh, the nice Tideman of Ravage is gonna keep Pugna alive, but he force steps back into the fray of things and will fall as a result. Nice Astral Imprison. Gonna surround is the question. The Netherward is taken out, and Era, who does not have his ultimate arrow, but he does have the Blink Dagger, doesn't have the reach. Things will break up after the fact. So 1 for 1 overall, even though Weaver did die in the opposite lane, so making things up a bit.
Done here. Okay, now I'm sure.
Centaur, you're never done. Not lie.
Top lane.
What do you think about this top lane? Level 9 Weaver now against the level 11 Bristol.
He doesn't stand a chance. He can't hurt Sedoy enough. He has to time lapse whenever. I think Trixie's making a mistake trying to trade with Sedoy. There's no point. Playing against a Vanguard Bristle with a magic stick 10 charges, he will always lose this fight because he's behind. So.
Good back, Centaur.
Yeah.
No finger though. There's no finger.
That's true. He still has a level 3 Hex now. Goblack's actually playing Lion the old school way without mana drain.
Is Coil? Yes! No tail. So happy to pick up that kill. Barely had enough mana to do so. But actually the reinitiation from Era. Here's Yol with the level 1 gush still takes a double edge to the face. Era better be careful. He's going to try to get 1 kill out of this. Oh, is it going to reach? Nope, not yet. He still has the blink. Is he going to go balls deep? Nope, he's going to blink out like a pansy. You have to play Centaur like a beast, bro. Lion in the meantime taking out Flame Weaver. Getting decently low. Sedoy though should be fine unless there's a frostbite. Not in range. With that, I don't know. He's really tanky. Level 4 Bristleback with the Vanguard. Tough to kill at this stage of the game.
I feel like right now with the way the game is going, it's 4,000 lead for ROX.KIS in terms of gold and about 3,000 on the experience, maybe 2,000. It's good, but I don't think it's going to cut it. When they have this kind of advantage with the lineup they have, this is when they should be putting pressure on Fnatic and start taking towers. It's just not happening. On the other hand, holy, the damage from Era in the bottom lane easily picks up this kill alone. And it all comes back to the mech, I feel. And now he's starting to work on the Pugna, but I'm afraid ROX.KIS has missed a really crucial timing window in their strategy because of this.
Boom. Well, I don't think it would have saved in that instance, but you're correct as far as teamfight potential is concerned. Definitely need a mech on somebody. And it's weird. Oh! Seeing initiation from Outroll Devour. Unless that was a different force staff. That was really weird. Either way, he'll be good to go as we have top lane aggression. Hani getting pretty low. There's the Ravage to follow. It's actually going to get hit too. Extremely low. Finger of Death is going to be used as a last resort. Again, that's 3 for 3 on that Finger of Death, if I'm not mistaken.
He keeps hitting them. It's really impressive.
Oh. It takes some skill. It takes some skill. Astral Imprisonment again used. No tail. Again has 0 in Curse of Avernus. Can't really help. He's just there to help Era tank, which is, I guess, fine by him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
it'd be
Radiant's
pretty
bottom
difficult for
tower
him
is
to, without
under
a force staff, to
attack.
catch up to anybody anyway. Especially with
Radiant
the Astral Prism
structures
being
are
used
fortified.
every other second. We
Dire's
have
top
TP
tower has
support
fallen.
from Sedoy. They're going to surround Era. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. But there's Abaddon, keeping him alive, at least for now. But I dare say that he is a dead Centaur, and No Tail with absolutely no mana to boot will in all likelihood fall as well.
Dire's
So they're going to
top
clean up
tower
too.
is under
ROX.KIS
attack.
up massive. Actually, a lot of damage. Oh, actually, is this going to be enough? Astral Prison, Astral Prison. No! Sniper ult's going to be enough to take the kill. Sedoy's going to chase Ani, who keeps hitting him over and over with that
Dire's
headshot.
top tower
Ani being
is
really
under
cocky. He's going to fall, but so is Sedoy. 1-for-1 exchange. That's pretty cocky
They're
for a
getting
sniper.
so much more right now than Fnatic are. They
Tier 2,
defended,
yeah.
they defended their
Dire's
bottom
top
tier
tower
1. They
is
might
under
lose it now.
attack.
But they got a tier 1 top, they got a tier 2 top. They killed 2 of the 3
Radiant's
cores.
bottom tower is under attack.
Connor's getting close to the mech
Radiant's
because of this.
bottom
He
tower
actually has
has
it
fallen.
right now. Or is he missing? He's missing one component. No, he has a full mech. I'm Fnatic right now. I am, you know, they might not feel how far behind they are in this game right now, but just considering the lineup and the way this game is going, ROX.KIS can brute force the remaining tier 2s, and Fnatic can do nothing about it. They don't have a teamfight lineup at all. They have 3 single target cores, apart from, yes, Centaur, a little bit of AoE maybe on the hoof stump, and double edge. If you get lucky, you can hit more than 1 target, but it's still gonna be really hard for them to spread out the damage on all the cores on ROX.KIS, and they have to do it. And Sedoy, he's been a beast in this game on Bristle. Look at his health and armor. Who kills this guy?
No answer for him. Yeah, exactly.
For
We have
Fnatic.
absolutely no answer. I mean, Weaver late game would be great, but of course Sedoy has just dominated Weaver to this point, so we're not going to see that anytime soon. Era,
Dire's middle
gonna
tower
run into
is under
solo.
attack.
Who's dead? Pugna better be careful. Centaur's ult is up if they want to reinitiate, but not going to do so. And actually, Bristleback, look how cocky he is. And he can do this with all these items, all this farm. With levels, even. In fact, let's just look at the levels real quick. Level 13, top of the game. I'm actually surprised Weaver's tied. He was 2 levels behind, so Trixie's done a nice job of getting back in this game, working on his Lincolns, pretty close to... Well, you'll be able to get the ultimate orb now, and then the recipe not too far after.
I think Trixie's only even because of the Midas. So again, it's a little...
True.
It's a little tricky and not really representative of
Trixie.
his real strength in the game.
Little Trixie.
Really?
I know, I'm tired. I'm sorry. Sorry, Synderen.
Really?
I really apologize to everybody watching for that terrible, terrible pun. It was barely a pun. Just, Dota Cinema shouldn't stand for this kind of behavior from me.
Yeah, we
But
absolutely
I
hate you. Refuse any future cooperation with you.
Centaur pick going for a blade mail, getting decently close to it. Has to use his ultimate, yep, to get away. But what do you think about blade mail on him? So not going for any kind. I mean, they're going all mid game with Sniper in the back, with Weaver in the back. I mean, with their lineup, they have a decent, like with Centaur, they need to be getting kills mid game because later the game goes, he's going to become useless unless he goes for a crazy ass build. Oh, but this could be big for them. Fnatic gonna run. They're gonna see the smoke gets dissipated. Of course, the Ravage is up. Oh, a beautiful stun from Lion, followed by the Ravage. This is bad news bears for Fnatic as Fly gets ripped apart, doing a lot of damage to the finger of death that is Lion. Although Weaver, trying to chase Lion, uses time-lapse to get out. ROX.KIS dominating this fight because of the amazing initiation, but in the end, Lion does fall, surprisingly so.
I like how Hani just keeps getting these kills out of absolutely nowhere. Just the vision is setting up for these beautiful assassinate kills, and if I'm Fnatic, I'm really happy with that. They got a 1-for-1 trade. Finger of Death was used, Ravage was used. Defended Roshan. That was a really big play to get in there for Fnatic right then.
Sure, actually, Eris has his ultimate in 10 seconds, so they're going to be able to defend this easily, despite losing somebody. Overall, though, what was I going to mention? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah, the Sange on Sedoy is a little bit too late for Weaver, because he just picked up his Lincoln Sphere, so I guess will have to be used on Hani, but of course he'll have to position himself to be able to get that off. Unless he's going for S and Y and just going to prove me horribly, horribly wrong, but that would be just weird. At least.
Hani's getting it, so why not?
Obviously, oh god. Oh, no, he wasn't able to get his double edge off. As there's a Lincoln that is popped by the level 4 Gush, thank you very much, says Yol. As there's the Impale. Hani taking Sanity's Eclipse. Era,
Radiant's top
did he use his
tower
ultimate?
is
Looks
under
like he did,
attack.
as he's taking a ton of pure damage from Solo, who's, I'm surprised it isn't just finishing him off, but there's the double edge. It's not going to be enough to kill him, though. See, trying to clean somebody up, but there's the sentry. It's going to pop. He has his Midas. Needs to use that Midas. That is game-breaking at this point. He's going to do so right now, as soon as possible.
So close for Lion to catch up for that Hex. That would have been a big kill. They did get a 2 for 0, so definitely going to be happy with that, ROX, and probably take Roshan, but at the very least, Fnatic did not lose.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Oh, you hate that
Radiant's
word.
Good
top
choice.
tower is
OD
under
is a good
attack.
choice too, though. Either one's fine with me.
This OD is going to get really, really strong. We haven't talked about that so much, but when you look at Fnatic's lineup, these heroes have really weak intelligence. When he gets a Hex, his ulti is going to hit so damn hard. Even the CM is actually not the hero on the Dire side with
Radiant's
the highest
top
intelligence
tower
because
is
of his
under
low level.
attack. Dire's
So,
middle tower
OD's
is under
ultimate,
attack.
with 1 or 2 Astral Imprisonments cast in the fight, easily gonna be able to do several hundreds of damage to every single Fnatic hero.
Look at kills. Who's on top? All Black just kill securing all over the place with that Finger of Death, which is now level 2. Fortunately, he's going for a 4 staff. I was really hoping that Staff of Wizardry would be the makings of an Aghanim Scepter, but unfortunately will not be the
They don't
case.
have anything to combo
It
with.
doesn't matter,
They don't have
Cinderin.
way.
It's the point of getting Aghanim Scepter on Lion is amazing. It wins games. Doesn't matter if there's no synergy with AoE. There is, I guess, with Tidehunter, but you can't really group them up. Either way, it's awesome, okay? God, don't question me. Bristleback picking up his Heaven's Halberd. So, really, the range of that is really the question here. I'm not... What is the range on this, actually? Know the number?
Good
Because
question.
he needs
I
to
don't
get
know
in
what the cast range
position
is on
to
Halberd.
use it on Sniper. Otherwise, wasting on anybody else, unless Weaver's Lincoln's is popped beforehand, so...
Yeah. I think the Halberd is mainly going to be used for the sniper at this point. The question is if he can find time. One thing is the range of it, the other thing is if he's in a position in the fight where he can get close. But at the same time, again, Fnatic, we come back to the same problem. They don't have lockdown against this Bristleback. He's kind of free to move the way he wants, so maybe he can catch Hani
Dire's
and
middle
get
tower
Halberd,
is
or,
under attack.
like you say, use it on the Weaver after anything else has been used. They're going to start putting pressure on the tier 2 mid, finally. They might have been able to do this a little bit earlier, but built themselves even more advantage over the last short amount of time, so can't really blame them too much for it. This tier 2 is not long for life. Trixie's trying to split push a bit.
Ooh, what a pro play.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is under
staying
attack.
alive, although that wouldn't have killed him, still
Dire's
staying
middle
alive.
tower is under
Tidehunter
attack.
opting to go for a
Dire's
hood
middle
over
tower
a blink.
has
What do you think about that?
I think they want the pipe so they can end the game. The hood itself isn't going to be that good. He almost has the pipe, actually 600 gold off it. They just want to brute force and end the game. And they realize that Fnatic are not in a point to fight right now. If you want to end the game, most crucial elements are that you have mech, pipe
Radiant's
early
bottom
on,
tower
and especially
is
if you
under
can get
attack.
an Aegis with it. That's the fastest way to win the game. The Blink Dagger would have been great so that they can initiate, but I think the point for ROX.KIS is they don't even want to initiate.
Oh, Era. I'm surprised ROX.KIS didn't... I guess they were kind of scared that there was more there, but if they knew what we knew, they could have cleaned him up no problem. I mean, especially with the pure damage, which will rip through Era, who doesn't have really any... I guess he has Blade Mail, but... Blade Mail's pretty good against that, actually. Especially against Melody.
Centaur is generally a tanky hero, but in this game, he will melt the heroes of ROX right now. The Crepify Finger, everything about OD.
That's why the Blade Mail is such a good choice this game, I feel. For sure.
He's going to reflect some of the damage onto them, but the question is if that's
Double
enough.
reflect. You know?
Double reflect with return.
Earn auto attack damage from all those auto attackers on ROX.KIS. That Lion attack damage, Syndrin, we were talking about that earlier. Pretty legit. How many kills he has? He has the highest kills in the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
On his auto attacks.
Like, hey, finger comes from your hand, which is an auto attack.
Oh, Dixie juking. Takes the right path here. Could have been in trouble against Godlike, who now has a point in mana drain, so he has that to break the Lincolns with.
That's true.
Which instantly break Lincolns into Hex on Trixie. And judging by Trixie's amount of gold, is he really getting a Radiance? I hope he isn't for Fnatic's sake. I'm not sure that's a good choice here. It's very, very situational on Weaver to get Radiance. There are other choices that make more sense generally. Let's see. He's gonna answer it soon. Guess he's holding on to the gold to make sure he has a rebuy as well.
Yeah, that could be the case. But yeah, this is probably the best counter to Lincoln's. Mana Drain, which nobody really uses anymore unless you're a solo line, which them to say the least. Well, I guess it's actually decent against certain situations, but
Actually, thing.
the best counter.
I was surprised by it as well. I think Mana Drain is getting picked up much more than you expect it to. It's because of the way Hex scales, how good it now is on level 1. In the
Radiant's
past, you
middle
needed to level
tower
up
is
Hex
under
to make it
attack.
useful, but on level 1 it's 2.5 seconds. It's really sick. So,
Range, the breaking range, I
Radiant
should say,
because of
is
that,
amazing
a
as
lot of
well.
Lions now on support go for a 4-1-4 build. It's actually the most common build. What like is doing here is this is not the normal. I think it's great in this game, and also perhaps it's just a personal preference for him. But having a high level Hex against Weaver is really
Radiant's
good.
top tower is under attack.
They go 4-1-4, huh? That's
Yes.
interesting. That's awesome.
Many players do that on Lion now.
Sweet. But yet we still don't see the Lion mid for some reason. Best mid EU. Actually agree with me on that, not to sidetrack. Do you really, like, I know you were saying you did, kind of. I think he's a top 5 solo mid. Like, he doesn't have the best escape mechanism, but he still has a Hex, he still has an Impale, and his Mana Drain is completely ridiculous in a 1v1 situation.
Some matches
so
he
strong.
is insane. I think he's mainly good in one-on-ones for Lion. He benefits so much from being on the safe lane. If you can play him as a safe lane one-on-one in the games you run an aggressive tri lane, for example, we've seen it in the past. I think it was Silent playing a Lion against a Weaver of Koikva, I believe, when I was playing in the same team as him. Lion was crushing face in the easy lane scenario. It's really good because it's a lot easier to get reliable mana drains because of the lane vision you have and the positioning. In the mid lane, not so good as you might think. He has a kind of bad attack animation, low attack damage in the start, and those two factors
Radiant's
are really
bottom
important for
tower
most
is
solo
under
mid heroes.
attack.
He can compensate for it with how much he gains from levels. Like you said, he's still fragile and kind of easy to gank in many
Radiant's
cases. So.
bottom tower has fallen.
Pros and cons, I think he's played too little mid, but he's not a top 5.
I mean, if Dazzle, okay, Dazzle's also good, but we see a lot more Dazzle in Lion mid, although it's not common either. But, I don't know, a little bit of nostalgia factor for me, Dota 1.
It's the push. Hype is up.
Hype is now up, and they're going to use
Radiant's
it, and here
bottom
comes
tower
the
is
aggression.
under attack.
Here comes the push.
Dire's
Can Fnatic do
structures are
anything about this?
fortified.
Their only AoE skill as they actually push bottom lane in the meantime, with Trixie's
He got Deso.
Deso, that's going to help quite a bit. And it's going to completely thwart ROX.KIS's efforts into pushing mid lane.
Didn't even see he
Rat
picked
Dota.
up that. I didn't see he picked up that Deso, and together with Sniper, these two combined can bring down the base really quickly. So ROX had to back up. This is a great play from Fnatic. The one thing they need to avoid is to get that fight, because I still think even with the Deso and Weaver, to me they're losing every single 5-on-5. So split pushing is the way to go, and to buy time. Fortunately, Fnatic weren't really planning on buying time in this game, as they have another game to play.
I was going to say,
But at the end of the day, they want to make sure they win the game if they can.
I thought the lineups would be switched here. ROX.KIS's lineup looks like what Fnatic would wanted to pick up, to be honest. But they just want to win, man. That's actually good news for us. Fnatic doesn't want to just throw this away. I mean, it doesn't technically matter as far as standings are concerned, but like I said, they probably have a lot of rares on themselves. That's unethical, betting on yourself to win the game?
I don't know if teams do that.
No, I highly doubt they do. It's a very fine line, but from my perspective, if you're betting on yourself, it's not like you're going to end up throwing. I don't see what the problem is with that. But, and again, they're just rares at the end of the day. It's not like it's real money, but hey, I'm a nobody. What can I say? Sadoy getting frostbit. Little damage he takes, even with that minus armor from the Stygian. For the Desolator, God, that name is killing me, Cinderin. It's killing me.
The most important thing for ROX right now is that all 5 heroes from Fnatic are mid. So, because of that, they can now pipe up and start moving in. That Astral was for Odin to gain mana, I think. It was a really weird play. Now he's going to take damage. Oh, he tried to avoid the
no pipe off. Era is going to hit a couple with his hoof stomp, but the pressure is going to continue to be applied by ROX.KIS. They actually back up thanks to the swarm via Trixie, which apparently was enough to thwart this entire push whatsoever, completely, which is really weird.
Shouldn't underestimate how good Sniper is at defending the base. He's constantly standing there with his SNY and Demon Edge and just hitting hard, and with Weaver applying the Desolator debuff to someone, Ani hits really damn hard, and I don't know if ROX.KIS missed their timing if it's too late now. I think 5 minutes ago they would have been in such a better position to do this, but right now Fnatic are actually able to hold.
They know where they're going. They seem to know at least. Yol
Flies in
he's
trouble.
looking for a big Ravage. He can get one here, but he can't. Doesn't have vision. There's the sheep on air. If they can take him out really quickly, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Air, nice aphotic shield. But there's the Sanity's Eclipse. No, of course, he's going to live to see another day. Yola, Solo Yola, whatever his name is, taking an assassinate. But No Tail is going to fall. That is 3 dead. Sniper and Weaver do live. In fact,
Dire's
Trix is going to be pushing
bottom tower is
bottom,
under attack.
which is really all he can do at this point. It's not tanky enough to live through this burst damage. Although he deals a decent amount of damage himself, just can't live.
This Eclipse is just killing they're lacking magic. It's kind of the best way to counter OD is to get BKBs, but at the same time, if they all do that, they don't have the damage to counter push. Fnatic has had to take a different route. And that just means a 3-0 fight, a Roshan, and probably a tower defender, unless, okay.
Radiant's bot Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
He's going for the range racks.
Radiant's bottom
Probably
barracks
back
are
up
under
here, though.
attack.
The goose on Hani. He can buy as much of the MKB as he can.
Radiant's top tower is
Centaur
under
ult's being
attack.
used to at least get him away for now, but he will be sandwiched in. Oh my god, okay. How many kills does he have now?
Radiant's middle tower
9,
has
3, and 1.
fallen.
This is how you play Lion, ladies and gentlemen.
That was the least needed finger of death I've ever seen in my life, I think.
That's how you play Lion, Synderen.
That was really unnecessary. And meanwhile, Trixie's just cleaning up towers. He got the bottom tier 3, he got the mid tier 1, he's pushing the top tier 2, and just effectively buying time for Fnatic. Again, it's kind of feels like, I don't want to say that ROX.KIS are even gonna necessarily lose this one in the super late game, because they have a very farmed OD against no OD counters, and they have a very strong bristleback with the Kiras now completed. But it's still Fnatic's best chance to win this game is to get further into the game. We saw right then in the bottom lane that if ROX.KIS get this kind of initiation, the fight's just over before it begins. And OD ult will kill almost every hero caught in it. Just those 2 abilities combined will bring them to like 1/3 of health. That's scary.
Despite how the game has been going so far, they still don't have a Rax. And like you were talking about 10 minutes ago at this point, maybe a little bit less, they had their best chance so far to get a Rax, but instead, it's a bad thing. They've been winning these team fights, they get an Aegis, and this is the time now that they pretty much, I mean, come on, you gotta push. Although they do have a very big item advantage, so maybe it's not as important, because you can't underestimate somebody like an OD. It's so damn hard. I mean, he turns into essentially a carry for all intents and purposes. This tower's gonna get fortified, and this is Fnatic's big hold. Can they do it again? There's a Centaur Stomp. He's gonna try to kite them as long as possible. Where's Weaver here? He's in the fight, not pushing, so this looks like it's gonna be committed. A fight that's gonna be committed by Fnatic. Ravage is up, he's gonna get force-staffed out. This swarm is just so annoying. Continues. The siege continues. Pugna. Blast. Over and over. And of course his blast can hit both buildings at the same time, which is pretty sick overall. What is dead? Another 13 seconds.
The OD has another Mystic Staff and the Aegis. So let's see, OD's intel right now is 168. Will do about 1200 damage to the Crystal Maiden before resistance, I think. Same to Abaddon. Centaur will also take about 1000. Really hope we see a good Sanity's Eclipse. I want you to see this.
Getting pretty low. Nether Ward dead again, though. Do they care? There's the pipe, they're committing. That's what a Sanity's Eclipse gonna do. There's the initiation. But the Astral Prism immediately, Weaver opts his BKB, taking the right click, Solo. Waiting for that Sanity's Eclipse. Pugna's actually used the Aghanim Scepter ultimate. There's the Ravage to follow. Fly getting really low. Solo's gonna go down, but of course he has the Aegis. He will be back. Sanity's Eclipse is still up. His Sheepstick is down. Force Staff is up though. Doesn't really have any opportunity to use it. Buyback from Centaur coming back. Abaddon's dead.
Radiant's top tower is
Hold
under
this any
attack.
longer. I don't think so. This Rax is probably going to go down. At least the melee. Here's the initiation again from Air. He gets sheeped immediately. Sanity's Eclipse. Where are you, good sir? Where are you? There it is. Centaur's going to lift Finger of Death again, securing a kill for Goblet. God, he's a beast of burn to say the least. Ultimate. Not going to save Pugna's life in the end, but they do get the Rax. And with this, ROX.KIS is on the back foot. Fnatic catch up. Sidori's dead, but all in all, they get the Rax, force some buybacks out for Fnatic. In fact, how many? 3 buybacks for Fnatic.
They got the rebuy from... Yeah, 3. They rebought the Weaver as well. Wow. That's a really good fight here for ROX. The amount of... yeah, if they don't have to rebuy themselves, this is a very, very important win for them. As far as that fight went, OD held onto the ult very long, and it's because Fnatic did a very good job at spreading out. That's one of the great advantages you obviously have when you're playing a sniper, is that you can stay so far away from the team that any type of combination spells don't really hit. And they spread out really nicely here to not get caught by it. And then in the end, when he used the OD ult, he used it when Centaur had Blade Mail on. You saw that. He just vanished.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Doing a nice job of taking off Trixie's Lincoln Sphere. Still has BKB up his sleeve though, and actually Tidehunter will go down to the right clicks on Weaver, which are hurting to say the least. Good lord, actually that does a lot of freaking damage. Another word is up.
Radiant's middle tower is under
attack. Reinitiate here. Solo does not have his ultimate. BKB popped by Trixie. Nice initiation from Era. And OD is the first to fall. ROX.KIS, is this a repeat of the Na'Vi game that we saw in the first series of this tournament? I'm not sure. Sudoi, of course, very tanky. It'll be pretty difficult to kill him overall, but Hani, look how far away he can stand. Oh, Era.
Barracks has fallen.
And Impale. This Rax is dead somehow. Some way, somehow, Fnatic
barracks has fallen.
Evens this game up. Actually, are they going to feed some more kills? Good lord, man. Oh, there's the initiation again. But a nice re-initiation from Era, taking the double edge to Lion's face. I cannot believe what I'm seeing, Syndra. This is Na'Vi versus ROX.KIS all over again. Sudoi, although tanky, in all likelihood will die because Hani is just ripping through them with that MKB. And this is all about going in and out again. That sounds so sexual. I do apologize. Era has the aphotic shield applied to him, and I think that they're a little bit too low. They're going to have to back up here. This is deja vu, man. Complete deja vu. That
initiation from Solo in the bottom lane was so incredibly aggressive with no backup plan. He's playing without BKB and buyback on the OD, and he force-staffed into the enemy team to try to hex someone who either got aphotic shielded or had the Lincolns. I think the Lincolns just triggered on Trixie, or maybe he had BKB used before he got hexed. Solo just got to pay for that so hard. They didn't need to commit. They could have sit back a little longer and get a better setup before they went in, but instead, just really over-aggressive here from ROX.KIS, and they didn't just lose on, or even out on Rax, the entire game. Just out. Fnatic gained 10,000 experience and 5,000 gold in that one move.
Cut from the same cloth.
Alright, you know what I was referencing. And correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Na'Vi versus ROX.KIS in the first series?
Yes. They had 2 Rax though in that.
Yeah, it's very similar though. Like, I thought the game was over just a minute ago, to be honest. But I think part of it was good execution from Fnatic overall, but in the end, ROX.KIS is kind of going in one at a time, and you're right, the initial, who was that, Pugna you were talking about going back in? Oh, the OD, that's right. Got blown up immediately once he went back in, after the buyback. And Centaur getting a heart.
17,000 gold, that's out of the window when he does that. So it's, the problem is that hero makes an over-aggressive move and gets killed off, that's one thing. But when it's the main hero on your team that you've invested the most gold into, that has the highest game impact,
Radiant's
is really the OD right now with the massive ult and with the Hex. If he just commits and dies, and can't buy back, ROX.KIS are way behind. It's something else if it's the Lion who does it, then maybe they can still turn it around, or if it's the Tide, then maybe. OD, if OD is dead, they cannot win the fights anymore. I really...
Oh, he doesn't have a blink. He's gonna get hoof stomped. Force Staff's gonna help fly. Oh, frostbite, frostbite, frostbite. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, well the trees were playing tricks on fly. That's okay. It wouldn't have been the hugest deal.
So first he tried to cast it, and then the AI took him in the opposite direction of what he wanted, or the pathing I should say. And he was like, oh shit, I need to go the other way. And then, oh wait, I could actually go the first way again and just go a little bit further. That was too late. So unfortunately for them, Tide does get out. I don't think it's the biggest deal that y'all didn't die there. He would have been back alive for the fight, but what it does mean is that ROX.KIS will be putting pressure earlier. And now the test is for Fnatic again, can they hold? And do they have buybacks? No. They do not have buybacks. Centaur 30
Something
seconds.
I want to note before this fight breaks through, I want to mention something that I have to double check
bottom tower
just now.
is under attack.
Era has a Heart of Tarask. His ultimate will hurt even more for
Dire's
literally
bottom tower
everybody.
has
Everybody that
fallen.
runs through with Stampede on his team will deal a multiplier based on his strength. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct?
It's correct. It says on the skill.
That's actually legitimate damage now. I mean, it's mostly used for the slow early to mid game, but once you actually start getting some ridiculous strength on this hero, that deals a lot of damage. I mean, actually, we can just calculate right now.
Let's see. About 360 per hero. 366.
That is, of course, it doesn't stack like on heroes, but that's 360 damage
Still
theoretically on each hero, along with the slow.
Pretty damn
That's
good.
really freaking good. Scotty on sniper. Oh my god, this is my old school. Okay, other than the S and Y, this is an amazing build on sniper. Although this game, the S1 max because there's the initiation. Gets Astral imprisoned. Is that gonna save? So nice and tail era getting kited. It's gonna save. Oh, there's the assassinate income. Boom! Decrepify's not gonna save you in this instance. Weaver, BKB, Lion, you are a dead. Good sir. I'm not gonna watch that. You're so dead. Abaddon though, getting taken out. So a little bit of trading going on. 2 for 2.
For my beetles.
And that will break things up.
This is good enough for Fnatic. I think they just held again. The Sniper and the Weaver survive. They can defend the base against these 3 heroes alone, because the ultimates are down. There's no OD ultimate, there's no Ravage. Enough for Fnatic. Again, they hold, and the more this game progresses, I'm still not sure who really wins the late game. I just know that in terms of momentum, this game has certainly taken a shift, and it all comes down to Solo now, how he plays individually. Plays as well as the Ravage, which Joel still didn't go for the Blink Dagger when he went for the Lance instead. He's still putting himself in a lot of a harder situation to get that money Ravage out in the fight. I'm surprised he went for the Lance over that. ROX just wanted to push the towers. It didn't work. They might need something like a Blink Dagger to really set them up.
Really do. He picks up a gem, so probably gonna try to counter ward here. As Roshan is up, and this looks like a free one for Fnatic. And this is gonna drop cheese, and I have to cough. I'm gonna mute my mic, but the people in Dota TV are gonna hear me. I apologize in advance. Okay, very good.
Roshan has fallen to
That
the
was
dark.
actually real, just saying. My voice is dying, actually. Can you tell?
The worst real cuff I have ever heard. No lie.
For people that didn't hear that on VOD, you guys have to go on Dota TV and just listen for that. It's pretty I feel like my voice is going. That's not good. I guess I'll have a week to recuperate. What?
It's disgusting.
I should have seen that coming. But typically when I say that's disgusting, it's a compliment, so I feel like that's not the case in this instance.
Analysis. I'm proud of you, son.
Aaron picks up the cheese. Who got the Aegis? Was it Weaver? Yeah, Weaver with the Aegis.
Yeah.
This is tough. It was...
Oh, again, so aggressive. This time he has a BKB though.
So imprisonment. Abaddon. Okay, BKB actually popped by Soul. That was really odd. The Sheep's gonna keep No Tail intact, but will die. Won't be able to get out, but the BKB, that was a pretty big... A 10-second BKB for Solo. Perhaps
Kind of
expecting initiation.
However, I don't think right now for Solo it matters so much whether the BKB is 10 or 5 seconds, because there's only one wave of spells that he really needs to avoid. He needs to avoid the Hoof Stomp, and that's it, right? Like, there's nothing else controlling him. Frostbite, he can use the BKB inside, and yeah, they have no other lockdown. They don't have a scythe or anything, so...
I feel like a Ghost Scepter would have been a better pickup on him. It's not like the typical pickup. It's not a... Well, sure. Why not? The Ghost Scepter itself isn't a typical pickup for somebody that wants to deal a ton of damage, but when you're talking about the only magic damage coming from, I mean, Crystal Maiden, sure, if you can get off a freezing field, it could be theoretically amazing, but really Stampede at this point is the most magic damage you're going to get. And then, of course, the right clicks from Sniper and Weaver are the ones that are going to be ripping through you. Why do you get a BKB?
The problem with Ghost Scepter is that since it was changed, you can't orb attack in it anymore. The consistency with that was changed.
That's true.
That's not an option. So he wouldn't be able to attack at the same time, but the question is how big of a problem it would be, because the time when he would want to use that defensively, he would probably not be attacking anyway.
Double damage!
Oh, nice force staff, keeping BZZ alive for now, but alas. First time it's gonna be a little bit too much. Era though, getting sheeped. Here's the initiation from Solo again, and Era, you see how fast he drops. Maybe the BKB, oh, he actually uses the cheese. And there's the Ravage. Trixie getting pretty low, but he has time lapse. He's gonna get out just fine. Oh, knock. Lucky though. And in the meantime, Solo actually gets triple teamed by Fnatic. As that is a 3-for-0 unless there was a buyback that I thought. I thought at least one Fnatic player died. Bedoy, he's gonna get a out, just too tanky. But this is gonna continue the
The
push for
Aegis and
Fnatic.
Cheese here. The Aegis and Cheese doing so much work. Trixie played really confidently because he knew that with the Aegis they weren't going to be able to kill him twice. And OD is basically stuck in a situation
Radiant's
where he has
top
to go
tower
for the
is
Centaur
under
who just
attack.
used the cheese, so he has to do
Radiant
3100
structures
damage to
are
him afterwards.
fortified.
I've just reached a point in
Radiant's
this game
top
when
tower has
they're
fallen.
just too strong when
Radiant's
they have the Aegis
top
and Cheese
barracks
as well.
are
That
under
was the
attack.
most important point
Radiant's
for them, was
top
getting that
barracks
Roshan.
has fallen.
Because even if ROX.KIS played that
Radiant's
fight
top
well,
barracks
the deficit
has
they were
fallen.
at because of that was just too big to overcome. I think this might just be the game.
Dire's middle tower is Radiant's middle
By the
tower
way, I
has
just
fallen.
it just dawned on me. The only reason that he picked up the BKB was because of the blade mail. 100% of the reason. QZZ, he's gonna take some of that blade mail damage and the double edge.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
He's a kill to
Dire's
For
middle
once,
tower
Goblak
is
does
under
not get a
attack.
kill thanks to his ultimate, because he's not invincible at the end of the day. And Fnatic looks like they're going to take this series 2-1 as Yoel's stuck in the middle, doesn't have Ravage. We'll take that after done though. And Ani getting a double kill. He will fall to Sedoy. Trixie just wants to finish this game. Just let me finish. We need another. We're playing another game, man. He time lapses. One more click. No, he's going to live. But of course the Aegis.
They don't have Hex.
Fnatic
Friends,
victory.
it's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, that was hilarious. Hilarious ending. So yeah, of course, as we mentioned, Fnatic was already assured advancement into the playoffs after winning the first game of the series, but they do end with style in this game. That was an entertaining